Hey guys, and welcome back to Pokémon FireRed. Just very quickly, while leveling up my Pokémon, I found this Ekans, which I believe is a shiny. So I did make a backup save of this in case I fail, but I really want to catch this. I'm not quite sure, but it's definitely a wrong color, so I'm going to definitely attempt catching it. I have all of my Meowth. I'm hoping in combination they will be able to weaken it enough to get it down. Let's see what a scratch does. Well, that's okay. I'm also using a new microphone. It's the one that's attached to my new headset, which just feels a little weird right now because it's sort of one of those that cover the entire ear, so I can't hear very much. Means I can't hear myself talk as much, which might make me talk a bit weird. But my old one was just sort of 6-7 years old now. It's just no longer performing perfectly. Okay, that is about as weak as I'm going to get it, I believe. Let's use a Pokeball. I don't have any Great Balls, or well, I only have one, so... And there we go. Okay, now I actually want to just quickly... Yeah. I don't care if Meowth fainted. I just want to check if it actually is a shiny. It did look a different color, so that's why, but I didn't check the animation. Yes, I want to move Pokemon. Thank you. Yep. You can tell from the yellow star on the top right of the image that it is a shiny. So hey, not only did I get a shiny starter randomly, I also just found a shiny snake. It's not a very good Pokemon, but hey, just wanted to say that quickly. Now there'll be a cut. I'll continue leveling, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, here we go again. I did a bit of leveling, I believe, so my Pokemon are now level 30, except for Pikachu, which I, well, don't really want anymore. And now it's time to head on. I believe this lady will want to fight us. She does. Well, if you always lose, why fight me? Because I've won. I'll just try out the new microphone for a bit, I guess, maybe 1 or 2 episodes, and see how it compares to the other one. It's probably not as good, but it's much more convenient, so we'll have to see how much not as good is it is, basically. Clefairy. Nah. Okay. That wasn't very difficult. I don't use the bike that much, I just keep forgetting I have it, so I've just gotten used to the running shoes. I guess I haven't actually played this on the proper console in quite a while. And the speed up feature is so convenient that you just don't need stuff like bikes or running shoes. And so we enter the rock tunnel, and the huge problem in here is you can see nothing. You could navigate the place like this if you really knew where you were going, but I do not, so I'm going to use Flash. And that makes it easy to go get around the place just like any other area of the game, because it's all lit up now. There are no Pokemon in here that I'm interested in catching, so I'm going to run from the wild Pokemon fights. I should easily have the speed to manage that. I will fight, obviously, all the trainers that I come across, which will probably be all the trainers in the cave. But I don't care too much for all the wild Pokemon. I mean, you saw that was a level 13 Onix. There's nothing in here I want to catch, and a level 13 just doesn't give much experience that I would care for. Slowpoke. I'm going to change over to Gyarados, who I believe knows Bite. And I may have forgotten to mention this, but while Gyarados is a water flying type, so not technically a dragon, the game very much treats it similar to a dragon, in the sense that it can learn a bunch of attacks that a water flying Pokemon really shouldn't be able to learn. I think it can learn stuff like Flamethrower and Thundershock, for example, so it can learn lightning or electricity attacks and fire attacks as well, which sort of dragons tend to be able to learn all that elemental stuff. And yeah, no point in fighting these Pokemon at the moment. I could have used a Repel, but I just don't like that. So just deal with the fact that we're going to see the fights, but I'm going to run away from anything that's under level 20, I guess. So if we find a really strong wild Pokemon for some reason, which I don't even know if level 20 is possible in here, but just in case, I would probably fight these. I also choose not to learn Future Sight on Alakazam, and I choose not to learn Leer on Gyarados. And I think that's all the changes in attacks that there have been. Okay, this is going to be bad. Huh. Never mind. I'm using a Psychic attack against a Psychic Pokemon, which is not supposed to do much damage. But Alakazam is really powerful, so even though it's not very effective, it still does a fairly large amount of damage. And Slowpoke is quite the tank. It does have a lot of hit points, so it's good that that went so fast. You could find a mashup in here. As you can see, you can find them, but if I wanted a fighting Pokemon, I guess I'd train up Mankey more. And right now I don't really want one anyway. And we need to go through this place, as I've said, to get to, I think, Lavender Town? But I might be wrong on that. Anyway, to the next town. And we're not going to be staying in the next town for very long yet. We'll pretty much move on straight away to yet another town. And I guess I shouldn't spoil too much, but basically we're somewhat close to obtaining a bunch of quite useful skills and abilities that will open up the game a little bit. We are also fairly close to capturing yeah, might as well go for Charmeleon. Fairly close to capturing a, what's it called, Nebula? That's a German name. I don't know what it's called. Ghastly. Ghastly. It's Nebulak in German. Yeah. So that'll be the next member of our team. And then, as far as I can tell, we're not missing that much anymore. Yeah, we're still missing the replace. Well, we have 3 of our final team already, basically. Gyarados, Alakazam, and Charmeleon. Which means we're still missing 3 more. One of them we're going to get quite soon. Second of those we're also going to get fairly soon. And the third one that we're still missing is going to be a while. Do you know about Pokemon cosplay? Yes, indeed. Let's just Psybeam it. Or Psybeam. Since I don't know what exactly Cubone is, I think it's just ground. But I'm not quite sure. I think it's evolution. Marowak is ground and ghost. But I can't say I ever checked, so I don't know. Okay, now... Because it knows teleport and flash, it's always a bit of a pain to move Alakazam around the party. But, you know, I'm kind of OCD about that, so it has to be done. And oh look, a Mankey. Okay, so against the mashup, Ember is just fine. I don't really have anything against, or anything that's good against rock types yet. Well, I have Metal Claw, but that's about it. And I'm well aware that the kind of team I've chosen to be my final team has its weaknesses, but it should be able to deal with what the game can throw at me reasonably well. But there are some Pokemon that I know I'll be encountering in the final fights that might be some trouble. Though I also have a fair amount of Pokemon that will be able to learn ice moves, and stuff like Ice Beam is really quite powerful in the Elite Four. There's just a fair amount of Pokemon that appear to be weak to it. The Dragon Pokemon mostly are. I think the plant and the flying Pokemons that you encounter tend to be... So yeah, it should be fairly doable with the team setup I have in mind. But if I was really going for efficiency, I probably wouldn't bring Dragonite and instead bring... I guess a Pikachu? The Ice Trainer is going to be trouble, basically. Because technically fire is effective against ice, but most of the Pokemon that the Ice Trainer has are also water type, so fire isn't actually effective anymore, it's just normal. And since most of them will know water moves, they will actually be strong against my Charmeleon, so... Oh dear, this could be the kill actually. Magnitude 7 is quite painful. Wow. I know I was kind of gambling there. If I had missed, or... If I'd missed, I would have been in trouble. What else can I do against a Geodude though? I can bring out Gyarados or Golem. Golems first. And Golem knows Magnitude, which, well, it's ground against rock, it's effective. And he's another one of those trainers who apparently just has multiple copies of the exact same Pokemon for some reason. There's quite a few of those which, for whatever reason, they run around and have like 6 Pidgeys or 6 Magikarps, or in this case 3 Geodudes. But it also had a mashup, so I guess there is that. Magnitude? I should have changed Pokemon actually. Golem's not particularly strong against fighting types. Oh well, that worked out. Should have changed to Pidgeotto. Now, do I have anything better than a normal potion? I have a hyper potion. Or a super potion, that should be sufficient. It's not going to be a full heal, but that's just okay. I also have normal potions. Might as well use one of those, and then I'll be at, yeah, 76 out of 84. That's just fine. No wait, that's where I came from. It's somewhat easy to get lost in here. I don't want to get into a sticky situation like before, so I'm changing to Gyarados, which should be somewhat useful. Definitely a very powerful Pokemon. I also checked, and Dragon Rage does a set 40 damage each, so it's not 50, it's 40. And it will always do exactly that. No type advantages or disadvantages come into play, which, as I said, has the sort of... Okay, that was super effective because I'm part flying type. But yeah, that means that Dragon Rage is somewhat powerful early game and then becomes somewhat useless late game. I also don't learn a proper water move on Gyarados until I'm level 40. So... I'm still not sure if I should teach it Water Pulse though. It would definitely be useful because it would actually give me something that's useful against ground and rock types, and those are quite common at the moment and something of a weakness of mine. Let's go Charmeleon. I quite like Charmeleon. Well, I would quite like him to level up. He's sort of currently at a point where he doesn't know any very powerful moves, and makes him a little weak. As you can see, even 10 levels above the Geodude and using a super effective attack, I could not one-hit kill it, so it's not quite ideal. Oh look, another Zubat. I will eventually need to catch a bunch of Pokemon to basically continue with my Pokédex, because after I've beaten sort of the main game, which is the full extent of what Red and Blue used to be, but after that I can go on and sort of explore new areas where I will be able to catch Pokemon from 2nd and 3rd generation. But in order to do so, I need to have caught at least 60 Pokemon from this area. But I'll probably do that off screen, eventually just going around old places I'd visited before and just catching stuff that I hadn't caught before and leveling it up just on the side. How about Dragon Rage? Might be fatal, it's level 16. That's a wild Pokemon, I wasn't going to fight those. I'm not sure why I'm fighting it. It's not going to have an effect. But now that I have damaged it, I'm going to get the kill. For some reason I thought I was in a trainer fight. Now I'm in a trainer fight. So basically at some point before finishing the sort of main game, I'll just go around and catch just anything I haven't caught yet, and probably level up a bunch of it to get some of the evolutions as well, and just kind of do some housekeeping until I get somewhere to close to those 60 Pokemon. Maybe even change out a party member if I find a new Pokemon that I quite enjoy. Never know. Graveler. Nope, let's stick to Gyarados. That's gonna be very effective. Still doesn't do very much because Gyarados is actually very powerful. And I'm 9 levels above him, so that helps. I can start to see why people use repels in this area, but I don't know, I've never liked to use them. I know these brown rocks are eventually breakable, but I haven't got Rock Smasher, I believe it is. I haven't got that yet, so I don't think I can smash them at this point. And if you smash them, I think you can get items or you can get encounters with wild Pokemon, or just nothing happens. Oh dear, a Jigglypuff. I don't like these Pokemon. I'm too manly for them. I actually don't quite know why. They seem so bland and sort of tedious. It always seemed like the point was to lull the enemy to sleep and then use some fairly weak attacks to whittle them down while they were sleeping. And I don't know, I never liked it. Against a Pidgey. Nope, Charmeleon. I could have used Golem and he would have had type advantage using Rock Throw? Something. Using rock attacks, but I really want Charmeleon to level up and learn something new. I don't know when he learns it, but he should be getting a new fire attack somewhat soonish. Plus at level 36 it will evolve, and then it's basically going to be super awesome. And right now it's only meh, kind of awesome. But once it's evolved to its final form, it will be the beast. I can tell you it's somewhat odd not being able to hear my own voice as well. Because my old headphones, as I've explained, I think in the beginning already in the first section, my old headphones were just on ear. What? Oh, he would teach one of my Pokemon Rock Slide, but I don't like using those trainers because they're one time only. So I prefer to wait until, usually until it's too late and I no longer need the attack at all, but I just like to have my final team set up and then decide if I want to add a certain move. So I'm never quite sure if maybe one of my Pokemon would be able to learn it and I would maybe like it to, and then I would have already used it and that would have been annoying. Because not every move is available as a TM, and most TMs are not actually replenishable. In fact, almost all of them are unique. There's some that you can get multiple copies of, but mostly not the really good ones. I mean, some of the really good ones are ones which you can get multiple times, but not all of them. Stuff like Water Pulse. I would love if you could get more versions of Water Pulse, but you cannot. I mean, technically, of course, you could start a new playthrough and trade it over once you've got the Water Pulse, so there's no reason you can't have multiples. But in a single playthrough, it's a limited item. Whereas I think TM10, which is Hidden Power or Secret Power, one of those, You can actually get that from the Meowth farming trick that I use. So I think I have 6 or 7 of those at the moment, and I think last time I played through this, because I did that same trick and I did it quite a bit, I ended up with 50, 60 of those TMs, and I had used a few of them as well, just because I could. Yeah, why not? Let's go over to Charmeleon. It's a bit of a risk, because I am weak against ground and rock types, but as I've explained, I want Charmeleon to gain experience more than most of my other Pokemon, just because he's not really close, but he's approaching the point where he becomes actually quite strong. And right now I'm kind of in a sort of in-between state where I have Scratch and Amber, which are both low-level attacks, and I've got Cut, which is not very powerful, and the Metal Claw is also not very powerful, so I'm just not very useful at this point. Let's go for Golem. Because he knows Magnitude, and I don't want to deal with the Graveler any other way. Magnitude 8 should be the kill. I suspect anyway. Okay. Are you a trainer? No, you just want my Pokédex. Well, you are a trainer, but why would I say no? I had some reason, but I forgot. It made sense to me at the time, basically. Was it Dark was effective against Psychic Pokemon? Let's try it. Yes, apparently it is. Note, by the way, Gyarados gained 4 HP, 3 attack, 4 defense. So, that's pretty good stat growth. Slowpoke. Yeah, I guess I want to use Pidgeotto. And I don't know if I've shown you this, but I now know Wing Attack instead of Gust. It's a more powerful attack. Okay, 423. Another Slowpoke. No, I'll stick to Pidgeotto. Don't have a type advantage, don't have a type disadvantage. That works out perfectly for me. Okay, you are apparently so jealous. I don't know how much longer the rock tunnel is, and I'm somewhat running out of time for this episode, so I'll just stop recording here, and I guess I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.